When I think back to the years after my divorce, I can still feel the heaviness that used to sit on my chest every morning when I woke up. My name is Rachel Miller, and for a long time, I believed my best years were behind me. I was in my early 40s, a single mom, and trying my best to raise my teenage son, Ethan, while holding down a full-time job as a nurse at the community hospital. Life felt like an endless cycle of responsibilities. Wake up, work, cook, clean, help with homework, sleep, and repeat. I wasn't miserable exactly, but I wasn't truly living either. I thought that part of life, the part where I was allowed to feel joy, romance, or self-discovery, was over for me. After all, my marriage had ended in heartbreak, and I was convinced that being a good mother meant putting every ounce of myself into my son's future while sacrificing my own. But Ethan, wise beyond his years, saw something in me I had forgotten to see in myself. One evening, I was sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of lukewarm tea in my hand. I had just finished going over Ethan's math homework with him, and he looked at me in a way that startled me. He had this thoughtful expression, almost as if he was the parent, and I was the child. "Mom," he said quietly, "don't you ever get tired of doing everything for everyone else?" I laughed softly, brushing his question away. "That's what moms do, sweetheart. We take care of things." But Ethan didn't let it go. He leaned forward, his brown eyes earnest. "Yeah, but you deserve to be happy too, Mom." Those words hit me harder than I expected. For a moment, I couldn't speak. My throat tightened, and I stared at my son, realizing he saw through me in a way I had never allowed anyone else to. That night, after Ethan had gone to bed, I sat alone in the living room replaying his words in my head. "You deserve to be happy too." It was the first time in years I allowed myself to wonder, what if he was right? What if my life wasn't supposed to be only about survival and sacrifice? The next day, something small shifted inside me. I started paying attention to the way I looked in the mirror. I hadn't noticed the deep lines around my eyes or the tired slump in my shoulders. For so long, I had stopped caring about myself because I believed it didn't matter. But Ethan's words echoed inside me. Maybe it did matter. Maybe I mattered. At the hospital, my coworker and friend, Jessica, noticed me lingering by the staff lounge mirror longer than usual. "You know, Rachel, you're beautiful when you smile," she teased. "When's the last time you did something just for yourself?" I shrugged. "I don't even remember." Jessica gave me that knowing look only a close friend could. "Then it's time you start remembering. You've carried enough weight for a lifetime. Go, do something that makes you feel alive again." That weekend, I decided to take Ethan out for a long drive. It had been months since we had done anything fun together outside of errands or chores. We drove through the countryside with the windows down, the wind tangling my hair, and for the first time in a long time, I laughed freely. Ethan looked at me with a grin that said he was proud. "See, Mom? That's what I mean. You deserve this." As weeks turned into months, I slowly started rediscovering myself. I picked up painting again, something I hadn't done since college. I joined a book club at the local library where I met other women who shared stories about rebuilding their lives after setbacks. I even started going for walks in the park in the evenings, not just to exercise, but to breathe, to feel, to exist outside of my duties. Ethan encouraged me every step of the way. Sometimes he would say things like, "I love when you're happy, Mom. You look like yourself again." Those words warmed me more than anything else. But the biggest shift happened one Saturday morning at the farmer's market. Ethan and I were picking out apples when I bumped into someone I hadn't seen in years, Michael Turner, a kind-hearted man I had known back in high school. He was helping his elderly mother shop, and when he saw me, his face lit up. "Rachel Miller," he said with surprise. "It's been forever." We started talking, and I was surprised at how natural it felt. He asked about my life, and instead of feeling embarrassed about being divorced, I told the truth. It hasn't been easy, but I've learned a lot. Over the following weeks, Michael and I ran into each other a few more times, at the market, at the library, even at the park. Slowly, we began to catch up, sharing stories of our lives, our struggles, and our hopes. I found myself looking forward to our conversations. One evening, as I was cooking dinner, Ethan casually asked, "So, you've been smiling at your phone a lot lately. Is it Michael?" I nearly dropped the spoon in my hand. "How do you know about that?" He grinned mischievously. "Because I notice things. And Mom, it's okay. You deserve someone who makes you smile." I was taken aback, not because Ethan noticed, but because he was giving me permission I didn't even know I needed. As time went on, Michael and I grew closer. He was patient, kind, and understanding of the fact that my son would always come first. And Ethan, instead of resisting, welcomed him with open arms. One night, Ethan even told Michael, "Thanks for making my mom happy. She really needed that." That was the night I realized Ethan's words had changed my life. By reminding me that I deserved happiness too, he had given me the courage to live again, to love again, and to embrace the woman I had once forgotten. Years later, as I sit on the porch with Ethan, now a young man preparing for college, I often think about how his wisdom as a teenager reshaped the course of my life. I didn't just find love again. I found myself. And it all started with those simple words, "You deserve to be happy too, Mom."